就抓人呢，这么的法的真是的嘛，过不来你过不去，对吧？这是也是传是一道新闻的啊。这么的办法，这听到的嘛不能去啊，地呀。
这是打了一身的坨子，没人管是吧？没人管，啊，那就是黄陂，这就是黄陂人民医院啊。新冠病人住院区13楼，现在连一个护士都没得，找人都找不到，找医生都找不到，连个值班医生都没得，啊。那位病友是实在不行，要想走，也没人来管。我也不舒服，从5点半到7点半。找医生没得人来，那就是黄陂区人民，那就是黄陂区人民医院啊。那些病友，叫天天不应，叫地地不灵。现在一些病人都是叫天天不灵啊，叫地地不应，都没人管，都没得人管。
加大传播真相的力度，我们要拯救在水深火热的湖北的武汉的同胞们，我们要再把国内的所有有关疫情的真实声音发到国际上来，做好准备，没有共产党新中国的以后什么样？
哎呀，怎么？快！ 哎，你好，你好，来，老张，哎呀，
你好，
哎，呀，海林老师，好，
海林也来了。
Bacteria and viruses, so I think we're all going to be safe in Ireland. Get a bottle of Tesco, everyone.
就这样的情况了，马路上面一个人都没有啊。我是20号晚上出发的，21号下午就是到了这个武汉，要接老人家回实验去过春节的。因为老人家刚好就是说在这里有点事，滞留了一下，然后封城了就走不了了。我老婆的哥哥租了这间房，2房1厅的嘛，就2张床，我们一家人8个人根本就没办法睡的了，睡在沙发上呢。在这边的话，买东西也比较麻烦，而且也比较贵。家里面有2个小孩子嘛，我就给他们做点吃的。我们大了的话，基本上都没吃了。想着说时间最多半个月肯定可以过去的，只知道封城封得太久了，那40多天了。主要的困难就是说无经济收入来源了。像我们开车的那些肯定是早早的就不工了，一天不开车的话就一天没有收入了。去年刚买的房，车贷、房贷还有保险费各方面的费用啊，每个月都是要交的。我上个月是光还贷款7、8千块钱左右吧。天天晚上半夜2、3点的时候会醒，醒了就睡不着了，是挺焦虑的。我老婆也是天天也是说难过的要命，家里老人家呢就觉得哎呦也是说跟着我们害了我们一样，就是说因为这个事情啊，老人家心里面难受啊。小孩子读小学2年级就要回去上学了，那小孩子也有一些情绪，说以后再也不来湖北了。有的时候就是说经常苦笑一下吧，想法就是说想回去，就是说恢复正常的工作。
正好小学没开学。
什么时候发的？
刚刚啊，吓得我到小学没开学哦。
你看这是做假的，他把菜踢个来踢个去的，都是做假的。50%的人都想不到这个爱心菜和爱心肉。
太胖了，还是很胖啊。等会再喝。等会再喝。我们是刚喂他喝水有点烫嘛，他说太烫了，等下喝，就没。
Should people be concerned about medical bills, and what if they are undocumented? How's the process for you?
So again, in a moment like this, the last thing people should worry about is the financial. Clearly, if someone has insurance, they have insurance. If they don't have insurance, we've said our public health system will always take care of people, and we've made that very clear. That includes undocumented people. So if someone does not know where to turn because they don't have insurance or they may be undocumented, but they are fearful that they have the condition, they can reach out to 311 and get a location to go to. They can go to any New York City public hospital or clinic.
The regime is now taking drastic measures, making the rare decision to cancel Friday prayers, even releasing more than 50,000 prisoners to stop the spread in jails.
Our starting point this morning, the number of confirmed cases here in South Korea has shot up over 5,600 and the death toll still on the rise.
Brick by brick, slowly a wall seems to be growing around Australia. First it was non-Australian citizens from China and Iran banned from entering the country. Now South Korea is on the list. Italy is the epicentre of Europe's virus outbreak. All major sporting events, including its top-tier football league, will be played behind closed doors, with fans banished from the stands.
In New York City tonight, about 1,000 people are now under self-quarantine, all possibly coming in contact or linked to one man who was hospitalized in critical but stable condition tonight. His wife, 2 children, and a neighbor all testing positive.
Authorities in Placer County, California, just north of Sacramento, today announced that state's first fatality caused by the coronavirus. The elderly victim is believed to have been exposed to the virus while on a cruise to Mexico. Meanwhile, Los Angeles County declared a state of emergency. In Japan, where nearly 1,000 cases of the virus have been reported, officials say there are no plans to cancel the Summer Olympics.
It is still much too early to calculate all the consequences of the virus. Even 007 is not immune. The producers of the next Bond film have postponed its release from April to November, citing what they call the global theatrical marketplace. The movie is called No Time to Die.
Okay.
It's time for policymakers in Washington to admit that this effort has been a complete failure. Rather than move communist China in the direction of democratic values, the policy of economic cooperation has simply given communist China the resources to compete with the United States on a global scale, all while they continue to nationalize industries, steal from U.S. companies, deny basic human rights, violently suppress dissent, and pursue policies of religious oppression. Our posture towards Communist China has simply strengthened a determined adversary, one that views this conflict as a zero-sum game. They win, we lose. For Beijing, their goal of increasing influence around the world requires the United States and other freedom-loving countries to be weakened. Communist China does not want to join the community of nations so much as it wants to rule it. The result, whether we want to admit it or not, is there is a new Cold War. The threat today is not another nuclear annihilation. Rather, this is a Cold War focused on technology, misinformation, and political persuasion. As I've traveled around the world, I've seen Communist China global reach up close. In Panama, Communist China is building a port, their own port, to control the flow of goods in our hemisphere. In Argentina, Communist China is building a new nuclear power plant that the Argentine government doesn't need or want. Across Africa, Communist China is mining natural resources with the goal of furthering their control. And all around the world, Chinese state-sponsored national champion technology companies like Huawei expand their reach.
Let's go to China. We had you on a couple of weeks ago, and at that time you said, hey, look, I study this for a living, everything from light emissions, and I want to go through what you look at. But you said, hey, this country is essentially shut down from economic activity, like things that move, coal burning, rail stock movement, trucks that are moving, etc. What was it like then? And we've all heard that they're trying to start these factories back up, and people are saying, hey, although I got a great report last night that we put up, it said, hey, the lights may be on in these factories, but no workers have shown back up, right? Walk us through your indices that you look at. Where are we today versus where were we 3 weeks ago?
I think you're seeing probably a very slow trickle back to work. It's clearly not any type of ramp up If they continued at this speed, it's probably 6 weeks to 2 months to return to any type of normal activity. And, let me just give you a couple of examples. So one of the things that we can track through a website is daily traffic congestion. And it's been noticeable that morning and evening rush hours have been have kind of trended up a little bit. But you're seeing two very interesting data points that kind of tell us that it's not exactly what it seems. First of all, subway ridership in these cities is basically non-existent. And second thing is that traffic during the day is virtually non-existent. So what is likely happening with this conflicting data is that people who would be taking, for instance, the subway to work are actually driving their own car, taking a taxi, and there's not many people in the offices, which is why we're not seeing any traffic during the day and why subways are empty. So you're starting to see maybe this little trickle, but it definitely doesn't seem to be any type of significant movement back. We also haven't seen, so during the Chinese New Year, what will typically happen is workers, it's very, very common all throughout China that workers work in cities where they're not from. And so they will go back to their hometown and they will visit their family and children. And what we haven't seen is we saw that pre-Chinese New Year where everybody leaves the major cities, goes back to their hometown. But what we haven't seen is we haven't seen that return of workers back to the cities where they work and hold jobs. And so one of the things is that there's still this enormous workforce that is dispersed all throughout China. And we can tell this by how occupied trains are and how many train tickets are being sold and things like this. And we're still not seeing that movement back to cities where people have jobs. And so we're seeing, again, a very slow trickle, but it's nowhere near the level that you would see to say, okay, there's been a serious restart of economic activity in China that gives us that confidence that China as a country is restarting. It's a very, very slow trickle. At current rates, my guess would be 6 to 8 weeks before they would be at levels that we would expect them, that we would consider normal.
都想知道我今天为什么带这2个胸章。当你们知道这个明白的时候，我坐在这儿讲的时候，就一定是没有共产党的时候。我给大家简单的说，一个是钱，一个是枪，别误会了啊！这个旗可不是共产党的旗，是我们的力量。共产党不说枪杆子出政权吗？啊，我们今天有一句话：现代的政治文明，现在的真正的革命者，我们相信的是用你的枪杆子给我们人民出政权，我们不用枪杆子。咱们走着看，灭共必须需要足够的钱，必须有足够的力量，叫力量。我们现在万事俱备。亲爱的兄弟姐妹们，一边是国际上最伟大的力量对我们的支持，一边是我们国内战友的支持，这就是我们的爆料革命。没有这些人，我们到不了今天。